Week number 3 of the 2023 spring season on the Coast to Coast Racing Network brings us to Wheeling, Missouri. It's Lucas Oil Speedway, round number 3. It's a racetrack that's a lot of fun on Monday nights as the Coast to Coast Racing League presents Monday Night Madness, brought to you by the Ox Weekend Speedway. We get set to go for our B division, the Rebels division, brought to you by Langdon Mechanical. We're so glad you could join us on the Coast to Coast Racing Network, everyone. Marty Sakala should be joined alongside Dean Reynolds when we get to Renegades time later on in the show. There you see it under the lights here at Lucas Oil Speedway. Very cloudy conditions. Moments away from taking the green flag for heat races. But what a fun start to the season here so far. 2 races in and a lot of exciting action. Last week, if you missed us in our B division for the Rebels, we had a first-time winner. It was Joseph Grandy that took home the checkered flag. Congratulations to him on his first ever Monday Night Madness victory. It should be in for a good one. Will we have possibly 3 different winners? This evening is the question. Just came off of a first-time winner in the Coast to Coast Racing League on Monday nights in Cody Graham as he took the Raiders event earlier. And now we get set for the Rebels division here. Car count set at 22 this evening, so every driver in the field will make it into the main event, which is set for 30 laps if you're new to the Coast to Coast Racing League. Here's how a typical night works for races. All the drivers line up in heats via random draw. Top 4 will transfer to the feature. Normally outside of the top 4 will be at a B main, but today may be extra practice. We'll then do a 3-minute warm-up watch, and then we will have our feature. The feature is 30 laps for the Rebels and then 35 for the Renegades. We're set to go for our first heat race of the evening. Heat race number 1 is brought to you by our good friends at Flatline Racing Bodies. Quality racing bodies produced by former NASCAR Regional Short Track Champion Dan Chapman in the iRacing hotbed of Clarence, Iowa. Here's your starting lineup for heat race number 1. Trent Verstraeten and Brian Moore Sr., row number 1. Row 2 is Jesse Bandy and G.J. Boydell. Row number 3, the Spider Monkey, Brandon Dittmer alongside Cody Graham. And then row number 4, John Rayner and Rich Holland. Those will be the 8 drivers that will be competing for pole position. Let us know, as always, in the chat who you are rooting for. And again, so glad you could join us on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Brandon Dittmer tuned in right as we began playing the intro, saying, Marty, Marty, Marty. Well, I'll tell you this, Brandon with a brand new paint job on that Training Wheels Racing number 83 ride. So here we go, heat 1. 8 laps, winner starts on pole, and everyone makes it into the show. Let's go racing here at Lucas Oil. Verstraeten and Moore side by side entering turn number 3. Verstraeten clears early. Moore tries to fight it back too high up. He clips the wall. 3 wide for second. Boydell stuck in the middle and moves Moore up the racetrack, and around he goes. Making his return. The first time we've seen him in the Coast to Coast Racing League in a while. We saw him last week race with us in the Rebels. Good to see him back. Unfortunately, not the start he wants, so he'll be starting from the back of the field. Unless we have a B main, so it's Verstraeten with the lead. Jesse Bandy in second, G.J. Boydell third. Brandon Dittmer in fourth with the Raider winner right behind him, and Cody Graham is right on board with the Spider Monkey. Graham with a smooth high side on the exit of the corner. Pull up down low. This will be a track that's high side dominant here at Lucas Oil Speedway, unless you have a setup like Brent Lacey dialed in for the bottom, a lane that rarely anyone else can run. 2 to go at the line here in our first heat race, and it's Verstraeten the leads. Bandy bounces off the wall. Denver with the wild wheelie. Holy moly, I don't know how that happened. I think he bounced off the wall too. Cody Graham tries to take advantage of it, but he's still stuck in the 5th position. And now he tries the inside underneath the Spider Monkey, but not able to pull up. 1 lap to go in heat race number 1. You know who's going to win this heat race. It's Trent Verstraeten. Dittmer, I believe, will hold on to 4th spot over Cody Graham. Graham tries one more time. It's not going to work. Verstraeten wins heat 1, but Brandon Dittmer Looking like an NHRA dragster doing a wheelie off the start line. Next seat brought to you by our good friends at Langdon Mechanical, the second to none heating and air conditioning company in the Hamilton area, and promise our customers our own professionally trained Langdon specialists will be there personally every step of the way. We guarantee your customer satisfaction from start to finish, including sales, installation, and maintenance service of your heating and/or cooling system. Every equipment sale, installation, and maintenance service call we make is backed 100% by Langdon. Jeff Fitzpatrick and Will Sargent make up your front row. That's Andy Patton and Dustin Sargent on row number 2. Pat Boyce and Gary Offutt, row number 3. Zach Neubauer starts from the back. He is in the 7th position. Drivers this evening following the Steve King Foundation Pace Truck, formed to help the dirt track racing community across the country by providing financial assistance to drivers, pit crew members, race officials, track ops personnel, or the immediate families of those individuals who suffer serious illness, injury, or death. Winner starts the outside of row number 1 next to Trent Verstraeten. Fitzpatrick and Sargent bring us to the green flag. Here we go. Sargent with a bad entry into turn number 1. One car upside down, and that is Pat Boyce, who's lost the top end. Dustin Sargent also involved. A wild ride for the 41. He's going to try and wheel and deal that Young Gun Creations ride back to the pits, and he will start from the back of the field this evening. But Fitzpatrick, your race leader. Andy Patton second. Will Sargent third. Gary Offutt currently in fourth. Zach Neubauer, the first one out, in the 5th position. While we don't have a lot of racing taking place, let's take a look in real time and show you what happened. Our first Malcolm's Mills Mill running replay of the evening. Sargent came down to Boyce, just the weight shift. Sent him flipping. Let's go to the race for 4th once again. Offutt and Neubauer. Tries the bottom, cuts it back. Boyce has officially jumped into the pits. I will start from the rear of the field. 2 to go, by the way, for Jeff Fitzpatrick. Just about a 1-second lead on Andy Patton. How about Will Sargent in the 92 in the 3rd position? If I recall correctly from last week, he did not make the main event at Limaland last week. So this is a big deal for him to make it after missing out on last week's show. Obviously a field of 22, but Sargent will be in the field. Checkers are out. Fitzpatrick with the win. Let's go to 4th here at the end for Gary Offutt as he takes it over Zach Neubauer. Offutt put up the fastest lap at the end of that one at a 12:94, so he may have some speed out of that SRC 94 ride. Heat race number 3 brought to you by Venom Racing, official team of the Coast to Coast Racing League. Brad Waite and the mayor, Steve Bixler, make up row number 1. That's Nick Shaw and last week's first-time winner on Mondays, Joseph Granny. That's row number 2. Dan McLaren and Joe Backus, row number 3. And then Jeremy Paulson in the 00 starts from 7th position. The Bassman, Roger Craig, is watching on the road. He's wishing good luck to everyone, especially all the salty dogs. Thanks for tuning in, Roger. Why wouldn't he tune in? He's the main guy of this league. So. While we are at it and have a couple of time to get some pace laps in, let's break down the standings. Your point standings are brought to you by Sim Racer Hub. After 2 races in the Rebels, Dustin Sargent has a 3-point lead at the moment on Steven Spees, who picked up the win in week number 1. G.J. Voidell, 3rd, 142 points. The nice gap between 3rd and 4th. Jesse Bandy is 4th with 119 points. Andy Patton 5th, 112. Tie for 6th, Rich Holland, Jeremy Paulson, each 109. Gary Offutt 8th, 105. And a tie for 9th, Jeff Fitzpatrick, Brad Waite with 104 points. Keep in mind a 12-race season for Monday nights, which means there are 2 drops on the season where drivers have the chance to drop their 2 worst finishes. If you make 11 starts, you can only drop 1. If you make 10 or less starts, you will be counted for all those races. So here we go for heat race number 3. Winner starts inside row number 2. No call for Nick Schau to the green, so it will be 6 drivers that bring us to green for heat 3. 3 wide as Grandy tries to thread the middle of turn 2. Dices off at Bixler. McLaren with the second wheelie of the evening. And it's only the heat races. And they're side by side for the lead. Wait against Bixler. The mayor looks to work the cushion off at turn number 2. Wade throws the slide job up on Bixler and he gets it to work. Look out! McLaren another wheelie! We normally have a fall-off count at Lernerville. We may need a wheelie count. That's the 3rd one this evening. Bixler as well has crashed it. He's put it in the pits and will start from the rear. That gives Joe Backus the final transfer spot as he watched the race for second. Grandy against McLaren on board the 518. On board with what McLaren is seeing as he just scraped the wall for just a split second. We got a race for 4-2. Backus and Paulson, and Backus goes wide. He's in the chocolate chips. Paulson takes away 4th. And back to second with 3 to go. Grandy, Necco and McLaren. Hang on there, Danny. Bounces off the wall. Paulson gets on the brakes to help him save it. McLaren just falls back to 3rd. And it's getting rough and tough early here at the Lucas Oil Speedway in Wheatland, Missouri. And because of all this hard racing, Brad Wade has pretty much said, thank you very much, boys. I'll take the 3rd position for the 30-lap feature. Best lap of anyone, a 13:03. Checkers are out. It's Wade, Grandy, McLaren, and Paulson. Your top 4, but everyone does make the field. And so we are going right into our 3-minute warm-up. This warm-up watch brought to you by the Oshweekend Speedway. We'll keep it right here with you, and we will step aside here so you can watch the warm-up. Stay with us on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Dustin Sargent, the quickest in warm-ups, a 13:285 as we are moments away from our first feature of the evening. Checkers are out, and we are just about set to go. Let's meet the field in the Super Dirt Car Series starting lineup. On the front row is Trent Verstraeten in the 88 and Jeff Fitzpatrick in the number 90. Row number 2 is Brad Waite in the 814 and Jesse Bandy in car number 57. Row 3, Andy Patton in the 87, the General, and Joseph Grandy in the 518. Row number 4, TJ Boydell in the 014 and Will Sargent in car number 92. Run out your top 10, Dan McLaren in the 88 and the Spider Monkey, Brandon Dittmer in the 83. Row number 6, Gary Offa in the 94 and Jeremy Paulson in the 00. As you look ahead at row number 7, Cody Graham coming off the Raiders win the 08 and Zach Neubauer in the 52. Row 8, Joe Backus in the 46 and Rich Holland in the 116. Row number 9, Dustin Big Money Sargent in the 377 and the Mayor Steve Bixler in the 75. Row number 10, JR John Rayner in the 302 and Pat Boyce in the 41. Rounding out the field, the 58 of Nick Schell and the 558 of Brian Moore Sr., a.k.a. the 55B. Looking at how the Young Gun Creations drone, we're just a couple moments away from taking our green flag. Who's my pick to win? I believe, in my opinion, it's going to go to Joseph Grandy. I think he goes back to back. Lights are off on the Steve King Foundation Pace truck. We are going green this time by. We're set for the Lucy Olson season start. By the way, heck of a season that Villanova had. Lucy had a great game. Nearly had the go-ahead bucket against Miami, but Miami pulled off the comeback. 30 laps, let's get it going. Let's sound them off with a bugle. Verstraeten gets away with the jump into 3 and 4, but first Fitzpatrick has a door open, and Brad Waite down to 3rd on lap number 1. Fitzpatrick just barely took the lap at the start-finish line. Still wing to wing, Fitzpatrick. Can he slide up on Verstraeten on a track where the high side is the place to be? And the answer is yes. Fitzpatrick on a 13-second lap takes the car out front. Yellow is out. Jeremy Paulson, John Rayner, and Pat Boyce. And Boyce for the second time this evening on his noggin. Unfortunately, that is the first Salty Dogs caution of the day, and so we will bring up the replay. Show you what happened to these drivers. Ooh, Backus just got into Paulson, so he saves it, not once but twice, and then here comes Boyce, pow. See, Rayner gets a piece of the action too. Right on board with the number 41. Was off the gas, unfortunately had nowhere to go. So Boyce with the quick repair, he had to get a tow. Will he get back out there on time so he can stay on the lead lap is the question. Lights are off the Steve King Foundation Pace truck. We will go green this time by for the first of 3 double file restarts potentially. It's our first Mission 22 restart of the day. Again, caution laps not counting. Trent Verstraeten, Jeff Fitzpatrick, row number 1. Brad Waite, Jesse Bandy, row 2. G.J. Boydell rounds out the top 5. Let's watch for the Young Gun Creations drone as we come back to green. Fitzpatrick holds, crossover move by Verstraeten, doesn't work off the corner, nearly 4 wide with Grandy stuck in the middle, but Verstraeten with the run underneath on the basement line. Can he get the drive off? He cannot, but here comes Jesse Bandy and car number 57. Doors nearly shut. We had Backus and Moore just crash a couple moments ago. But no caution. We stay under the green flag. 3-car battle for the top spot. For Straighten. Bites the wall for just a second. Allows Bandy to take second spot. And now can he challenge on Jeff Fitzpatrick for the race lead? He's up there with the number 90. They got Boyce ahead, who just came back on track with a quick repair, but he is a lap down. See if he becomes a factor in this. Bandy with a huge run, side by side for the race lead into turn 3. Bandy's got a car set for bite. The Vanderbilt guys are known for it. Dittmer sideways off turn 4, but saves it. Now, how does Boyce become a factor in this? He may be getting blue and yellow flag to let the leaders go by. Bandy tries to use Boyce as a pick, though, in turn 3. Boyce is sideways in front of the leader and makes a wheelie. Now, did Bandy lead the lap at the line? Fitzpatrick, though, goes around it, so he will not get the lead. Oh. You hate to see it. Vanderbilt running 1-2. And Pat Boyce just would not get out of the leader's way, unfortunately. Second Salty Dogs yellow is out. Boyce was sideways and Fitzpatrick just did not see that coming. And Bandy did have to lead the line. Then, for some reason, he didn't slow down and then got into Bandy and just took himself out. That was odd in that situation, too. That's a shame for Jeff Fitzpatrick. Let's ride on board with the rear end of Pat Boyce. So he's trying everything. You see there, he's trying everything to stay out of the leader's way. He was going as high as he can. That car just snapped on him out of nowhere. And look at all that. Oh, my goodness. So many bullets were dodged there in that situation. Fitzpatrick, luckily enough, was able to use a quick repair. How, though, does the left rear look on Jesse Bandy's car after the contact? I can see something just barely. The shock, though, is still in place, so shouldn't be a big deal. So, we'll be 1 lap to green this time by. And it's our second double file restart. So it's Jesse Bandy and Dan McLaren, row number 1. Or rather, Jesse Bandy, Trent Verstraeten in row 1. Dan McLaren, G.J. Boydell, row 2. Brad Waite, Joseph Grandy, row number 3. Brandon Dittmer, Andy Patton, row 4. Dustin Sargent, Cody Graham, round out the top 10. Here we go again for the Young Gun Creations drone for our Mission 22 restart. Bandy holds and Dittmer got checked up there, and Bandy clears. A lot of stacking up here. Look out! This could get ugly. Boydell, Moore, Grandy luckily kept it straight, so he'll be able to retain his position, and we'll go single file on the next restart. At least 7 drivers are involved. Let's watch from one of our cameras positioned on the track. Give you another good angle. There you see the checkup Waite and Dittmer had to deal with there. McLaren catches for straight, and it's just a stack up. See, Grandy gets a piece of it. Neubauer, Brian Moore just barely misses it. Fitzpatrick also involved. It's right on board with the Canadian. Trying everything to save it, then Grandy was just all on his tail tank. Nothing anyone could have done in that situation with the contact in front. So we'll try this once again. Luckily for Grandy, despite being in the accident, first off, you can see with Grandy and Andy Patton, and same with Brandon Dittmer too, with all the contact they had to deal with, front bumper damage off of their sprint cars. So this will be, again, a single file restart, as we did not complete a green flag lap. So top 5 stays the same. Bandy, Verstraeten, McLaren, Grandy, and Patton. If you spun out, though, you have to go to the rear. And so we'll try this once again. Oh, McLaren touches the tire of Verstraeten and stacks up third on back. 3 wide for 4th. Here comes Big Money. Dustin Sargent's on the charge. He's up 13 spots if he can get 4th at the line. He is rocking the cushion like it's Patrick Spangler out there. Like it's nobody's business. Remember, Sargent had to start from the back after spaying out in his heat on lap number 1, getting into Pat Boyce. Just about barely bounces off the wall. Let's ride on board here with Big Money. So 4th position is his. He's got Joseph Grandy cleared. Man, he's just running smooth corners up on the outside. McLaren may have to think about blocking that high side, but it may be too late. Already wheel to wheel entering turn 3, and Grandy takes that. Verstraeten and Bandy may have to think about it now. Caution is out. I don't think Sargent had 3rd at the line, so I think he goes back to 4th. Yellow is out for Brad Waite. That's a tough break. He started 3rd in this feature. Here's a look. Yeah, Backus got sideways, waiting nowhere to go except for the Tory tire. Here's an onboard with the 814. He had a great heat, drew the pole, and led all 8 laps of that heat with all the racing that happened behind him. So there you see the contact there. I think he could keep that car going without a quick repair. I believe that's just light damage off the 814. I mean, yes, he spun. He'll be back at 20th. But if he's in another wreck, he won't need to use that quick repair unless it's something bigger. So yeah, just some bumper bar damage. So because we are halfway home, no more double file restarts. It will be single file on out the rest of this race. Bandy leads, Verstraeten 2nd, McLaren 3rd, and yes, Big Money's in 4th, and Sargent. Joseph Grandy 5th, Andy Patton 6th, Brandon Dittmer 7th, Cody Graham 8th, Gary Offer 9th, Nick Schell 10th. Here we go. Well, let's watch Dustin again up on the cushion. Verstraeten up the racetrack. He went wide. He wants to test out that cushion possibly, and that holds up Dustin. So that was McLaren to have 3rd spot at the start-finish line. And now he shifts it down to the middle. Could be 3 wide off in turn 4. Verstraeten, though, with a nice drive off the corner. Now does Verstraeten have what it takes on the high line to close in on Jesse Bandy? Bandy's been so good on the low side today. It's going to be really tough. I think the best guy right now to beat Jesse Bandy in this one is Dustin Sargent, but he's got 13 laps remaining. Not a lot of time remaining in this one. How about this? 4 drivers all under a blanket for that 2nd spot. Verstraeten, Sargent, McLaren, and Grandy. This is a fun one. McLaren nearly hits the tire. Just about popped it. He's racing Grandy for the 4th spot. Sargent has shifted back to the bottom because he knows Verstraeten won't move back up top. So how does he do this? How do you do this to your Dustin? Do you try and force him to make a mistake? I'm not too sure. He's had a change for 6th spot. It's Brandon Dittmer, Andy Patton go at it. Dittmer, look out, he's sideways. Caught the wall off of turn 4. He did a save like a spider monkey. That was wild, and now he hops the cushion again. I think he biked it in turn number 4. Be careful not to do that once again, and he does again, and oh man, all 4 wheels off the ground. Not just once, but twice. He pops the wall once more. He's in trouble. 9 laps to go in 7th. Can he hang on for dear life? Because remember, if he does not finish in the top 10, he will not race with the Renegades this evening. He's hanging on for dear life. Meanwhile, Bandy's running into the lap traffic. Verstraeten's been able to close in for the race lead. This could get dicey as they work on John Rayner with 7 to go. Verstraeten's been able to let the cushion work, and here comes Trent Verstraeten. Started on pole, but lost the lead early to Jeff Fitzpatrick, and then he got in a wreck with lap traffic. Bandy tries to cut him off. 6 laps remaining. Three drivers all under a blanket for the top spot. Dustin starts to fade back, and Clay's the top two get into it. They try to split Joe Backus up. Verstraeten still runs the cushions move and use Backus as a pick. And Bandy loses the lead. Verstraeten goes the point. Now if a caution flies, right at this moment, does Verstraeten have the lead secured? It doesn't matter, he goes to the point with 4 to go. Dustin still not giving up in that third position. But now he's starting to blink. And now they work on Will Sargent, who pulls out of the way for the leaders so they can battle this amongst themselves. That low side may be gone. The tires may be gone for Jesse Bandy too. Who knows? But he had a great exit off of turn 2 that time. Another great exit. 2 laps to settle it. Who is going to take the win in the Rebels? Who's going to take their first win of the season? Will it be Verstraeten? Hang on a second, folks. We're under yellow. Will Sargent slowed it enough to bring the caution flag out, and we're headed to overtime. Oh, baby, oh, baby. He had already let the leaders go. He just get sideways too much in turn 1. Oh, he got the tire there. Popped the Uke tire. Nice 360. I don't know why that would be worthy enough to bring the caution. I mean, I get that there's traffic in the way, but with a 360, he could continue like that. That's normally when a driver would pass. So, we're headed into our Greenwood checker, and I want to make a correction too as well. I said Brandon Dittmer, if he doesn't make the top 10, he's out. It's actually the top 5 that transfer now this season. New rule. Thank you, Roger, for the heads up there. All right, lights are off. So here's how this is going to work. If we get the white flag, we'll end under checkers. If the yellow comes out before the white, we'll try it again. Up to 2 attempts. Verstraeten should get a freebie lap with the restart with 2 to go. Does he take it? Does Bandy take it? Does Dustin Sargent steal it? Or does the field win it? About to find out. It's crunch time. It's overtime. Here we go. See, Verstraeten already decides to run the cushion. Bandy shifts it back down to the bottom. Dustin Sargent making a run off of turn 2 as well. They're still side by side for the lead. Dittmer up on the wall though. Verstraeten goes wide. Sargent goes wide. Jesse Bandy back out in front with 1 lap remaining. Verstraeten tries to find a drive back up on the cushion. That may have been his last wish though. One final time. Verstraeten tries to chastain it, and he's up on the wall. Jesse Bandy holds him off. What a finish. My, oh my. First win of the season for the 57 after coming close to beating Joseph Grandy last week. That was a thriller in the late stages. Maybe, ladies and gentlemen, perhaps the best Rebels race of the year. And as of right now, our best Monday night race of the season so far. Here is the look from the Young Gun Creation split on the restart. So this is the issue. Verstraeten had a nice drive. Both him and Sargent had a nice drive. But then they went wide in turn 4. They both tried to get on the gas too quickly. That just sent them up the racetrack. Bandy got the lead. Verstraeten then went up the track once again. If he held his line, he may have had a good chance at it. So Bandy with the win, and a photo for third in the background with Joseph Grandy finishing on the bottom step. One heck of a finish, ladies and gentlemen, and we're not done yet. We got the Renegades left to go in about 20 minutes. So we will get things started here, ladies and gentlemen. Stand by. We're just getting all of our final interview stuff all set up. And we are set to go. Let's begin with Joseph Grandy. Joseph, not bad of a charge for you. Started fifth starting sixth to finish in third. What are your positive takeaways from this one this evening?
Oh, here we go. What's going on?
What's going on, man? You want me to repeat the question?
Yeah, I didn't hear you.
I got you. No worries. So, start from sixth up to finish third. What positives do you take away from this one?
I'm surprised I held on. I had quite a bit of damage. I was holding the wheel at 90 degrees on the straights, but I just tried to stick it low and not get in any trouble, which I got into some trouble, but I got to keep my position. But hopefully, can get in the next race. I think I do pretty good as long as I don't hit anything.
That was as well from that stack up on the restart with GJ, correct?
I got into a couple things, but yeah, it's when they got into turn 1 and 2, they were like 3 wide, and they all like slid into each other, and I ran in the back of them.
Okay, gotcha. So yeah, it was something different there.
Yeah.
What line was working out well for you this evening? Was it the low side or the high side? Both grooves turned in really well.
The low side was working better for me. I race better in the low side anyway. I'm just more comfortable there, so that's what works for me.
Gotcha. Well, good one. Good night for you as well, man. Taking a look here at the standings coming on in here. Definitely will improve up throughout the field. Who do you want to give shout outs to?
Catalytic Recovery, West End Towing and Repair, all the guys over at Training Wheels Racing. Thank you, Marty, for doing the broadcast. My girlfriend Olivia for letting me do this every night, and all the guys over at Coast to Coast and the guys behind the scenes, the sponsors that make this league run.
All right, sounds good, man. Well, we'll let you go. Great run.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
That is Joseph Grandy, our third place finisher. Our second place finisher is Trent Verstraeten. Trent, man, oh man, tough pill to swallow. Take me through first off turns 3 and 4 on the final restart.
Yeah, so I entered way too low in that corner, so I was like, screw it, I'm going to try to slide up in the cushion, and clearly it wasn't the right move there. And yeah, Bandy he hit the inside perfect there and got around me and held on for the win.
When that final caution came out as well, because you used a great pick off of Will Sargent. When that final caution came out with 2 laps to go, what were you thinking inside the car?
Basically, yeah, I just was thinking, shit, like that's the worst thing that could have happened. Kind of, knew it was going to give an opportunity for Bandy or even someone in third or fourth to get a shot at the win. Just was hoping I could hit my marks and hold on to it, but that just wasn't the case.
We're seeing it right there. You bounced off the wall too in turn 4 there. Who do you want to give shout outs to on the run?
I'd just like to give a shout out to Bandy for, a good run and keeping it clean. And just Roger and everyone behind the scenes at Coast to Coast for putting the league on, and you for broadcasting every week.
All right, man. We'll let you go. Great run. Hopefully we'll see you in the Renegades.
Thank you.
Trent Verstraeten in second place finish, and we'll apologize for his colorful language there. But we move into Extreme E-Speed TV Victory Lane. Jesse Bandy takes the win. Jesse, after coming close last week at Lima Land, not bad of a rebound, I guess you could say, taking this one tonight.
Yeah, no, I would agree. After being doubted if we took the lead last week or not, I mean, I think we showed that we're now able to kind of run the bottom there after taking some time off, and should be no more doubts anymore.
Absolutely, that's for sure. So we saw the low line work out for you really well. Did you start losing some momentum there, like maybe in that long run? Was there maybe a loss of moisture there, perhaps? Was that why you were losing so much time to Trent?
Well, I think I was probably a little too cautious. I seen myself getting close to lap traffic there. Ran into some difficulties getting around Backus. He didn't really hold a real steady line. He was kind of high, a little low, about a lane and a half. He was kind of all over the place. I didn't know where he was going to go, so I lost some time there. But, I mean, Trent ran a smart race. I mean, he had to go where I wasn't to try to make up some ground, so I don't blame him there. And it obviously worked out for him. I mean, lap traffic worked out in his favor, that's for sure.
Absolutely, man. That is for sure. So you're in second. Yellow is out with 2 to go. What are you thinking inside the car? Is it just hit the low lines perfectly?
Well, it helped having Lacey in my ear, telling me that I was quicker on the bottom as long as I hit my marks, and I think he could probably see that I was probably getting a little more inconsistent there on the longer runs, trying to navigate through traffic. I don't have a whole lot of experience in out towards the front. I've been more of a middle pack car for quite some time, so it's a little different scenery, right? A little different pressure.
I had a feeling
Um,
Brennan was in your ear with the way you were rocking the low line in those final laps.
Oh yeah, you betcha, buddy. Got to utilize the tools I got, right?
Exactly, for sure. Who do you want to give shout-outs to on the win?
Oh, everybody over at Bandybuilt Racing, Ross and everybody at Velocity Race Designs, Bio.com, Moon and Racing's Engines, just everybody in the car, and you for the broadcast, and C2C for the league.
Alrighty, man. Sounds good. Well, we'll let you go. Congratulations on this one. Definitely a good one for you tonight.
I appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Take care.
Jesse Bandy win one of the season as he is in Extreme E-Speed TV. Victory Lane. Big congratulations to him on the win. So we got a little bit of time here before we get going. Fun race. I hope that's what we see in the Renegades. If it is what we see, possibly Lacey Spangler battle. Oh my, get your popcorn ready for this one. Because we should be in for a dandy with the showing that we just had. So pull up the official results here, and it's Jesse Bandy with the win. Trent Verstraete in second, Joseph Grandy third, Dustin Sargent fourth, Dan McLaren fifth. Those are the drivers that are eligible to transfer up as long as they do not have IL restrictions or instant restrictions. Andy Patton 6th, Brandon Dittmer 7th, Cody Graham 8th, Nick Schell 9th, Brian Moore 10th. So Dustin Sargent finishing in that top 5 too. He plays some soup as he ran in the Raiders event. Gary Offut 11th, Steve Bixler 12th, Jeff Fitzpatrick 13th, G.J. Boydell 14th, Rich Hall 15th, Zach Neubauer 16th, Brad Waite 17th, Joe Backus 18th, John Rayner in 19th, Will Sargent rounds out the top 20. 21st belonged to Jeremy Paulson, and Pat Boyce, finished in 22nd. We're going to step aside and take our halftime intermission, and when we come back, Renegades are about to duke at it. Stay with us at the Coast to Coast Racing Network.
Before they go fast and start to power slide, we salute you with the big blocks 4 wide, the crowd pounding, earth shaking, window rattling beast of the Northeast. It's the big block butterfly Super Dirt Car Series.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat.
Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on GeForce TV.
Olsen, she has her first point.
Yeah, Lucy Olsen, talented sophomore.
Before they go fast and start to power slide, we salute you with the big blocks, 4 wide, the crowd pounding, earth shaking, window rattling beast of the Northeast. It's the big block butterfly Super Dirt Car Series.
Welcome back to the Coast to Coast Racing Network here as we are under the lights at the amazing place we call Lucas Oil Speedway, where we are getting set to go for Renegades, brought to you by Dylan Westbrook Racing. Marty Scala with you. Last week, if you missed us, we had a fun one. Last week at Lima Land Motorsports Park, but it was Brennan Lacey that took home the checkered flag. Lacey not with us right now at the moment. His first win of the season. Looking at our point standings, brought to you by Sim Racer Hub. 2 races currently in the books here at the moment. And the point standings look like this. Steven Spees and Brennan Lacey are top 2 in points, 154 and 137 points respectively. John Short tied for second with 137 points. Patrick Spangler fourth, 133 points. Chad Cote is fifth. tied with Kyle Moonen, each with 125. Ross Corina, 7th with 123 points. Blake Chapman, 8th, 121. Tied for 9th, Jesse Atkinson and Randy Shreves with 100 points. And so, with that being said, since we got a little bit of time, 5 minutes left to go before we get into heat racing. Why don't I take an opportunity to talk with some of the drivers here in the field. Let's begin with our defending champ here in Patrick Spangler. Wow, we're at it. Since we got some time, let's see if we can talk with Patrick. Patrick, it's Marty. You got a copy?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're doing something new since we got a little bit of time here before we go racing. But just talk me through the game plan here at Lucas Oil Speedway. You know, in the Rebels race, we saw the high side come in late, but it's a track that looks like it has multiple groups.
I don't want to give away any secrets, but I was running the B division earlier, like I was watching, and the top line was super fast. But I didn't know how to run it, so hopefully I can run that in the future, and everybody else run down low.
Is this a race as well where you're just praying for a random draw this evening?
Yes, it's very tough to pass in the heat races. The matinee was pretty tough because everybody wants to run that top usually, so I need a good draw here tonight.
All right, sounds good. Well, we'll let you go. Get back with your team. Best of luck.
All right, sounds good.
Patrick Spangler getting set to go. Your defending champ. Let's see here. Who else we could find in this this chatterbox? Let's see here. Let's go to John Short. It's been a while since we've talked with Short, man. Let's see if we can talk with Short. John, it's Marty. You got a copy? John Short, it's Marty. You got a copy? All right. Unfortunately, John is AFK here at the moment. Hopefully, we could talk with Short as he gets set to go. He's on the track, so I guess you could say he's a little bit focused at the moment. All right, well, let us know who you're rooting for in the chat. Chad, by the way, just said heck of a finish in the B division race a couple moments ago. Hello to Gary as well watching. Just looking forward to a good one. Well, if we can't get John, let's see who else we can get. Bear with us here. We're just having some fun. Thought I saw Randy Shreves as well in chat earlier. Guess we didn't. I'm just going, by the way, for those wondering, I'm just going in order of points. So I saw John Hines in here. Let's see if we can get him in. Professor, it's Marty up in the booth. You got a copy?
I do.
Yes, it's been a while since we've talked. Wanted to get you in here since we got some time before we go green. Just 35 laps await us here at this track. We had a fun one in the Rebels. A lot of good racing. Do you expect the same thing?
I do. We're starting to get this track figured out here a little bit and tune our cars to kind of, make them work on this track. And this surface is unlike any other one that we go to, and especially with there kind of being a cushion, but there's also a shelf up there. So you look for some two-wide racing. I think that the bottom is going to work for a good period of time. I think the top will work for a period of time. And Marty, I'll be honest, don't be surprised if that middle doesn't benefit somebody before the night's out.
All right, sounds good. Well, we'll let you go since we're a minute out from going green in heats. Best of luck.
Thank you, Marty.
John Hine getting set to go in car number 71. While we were at it, we did get some news from earlier this week on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. It was our Drivers of the Week for week number 1. This came out 5 hours ago. Chad Cote was named Driver of the Week, starting 24th in the season opener and drove all the way to the 5th that took place in at Charlotte. And then on asphalt, Brad Wetzel in the Xfinity Trail from 25th to 2nd, passing 23 cars. So well done for those drivers. They will get a medal on the year. They'll definitely enjoy that, hang that in their bedrooms or their sim rigs or basements, wherever they want to put it up in. So we are at 8:45. We've got a car count of 25 drivers, ladies and gentlemen. We've got 25 drivers with us in the field, so one driver will be going home, and a bunch of it has our regular drivers that we see in the Renegades. All the drivers that you see every Monday night. So while we're at Dylan Westbrook Racing is the official sponsor of the Renegades, and you likely saw the advertisement. They got a bunch of sprint car races planned again this season. Dylan's always been supportive of the Coast to Coast Racing League. If you want to check out for updates, Westbrook Racing on Facebook, and Dylan's got a Twitter and Instagram. You can check that out. Twitter at Westbrook47X and Instagram at Dylan_Westbrook47. So we're set for the first heat races of the evening. Heat 1 brought to you by Flatline Racing Bodies. Here's the starting lineup. Devo, Donovan Ross, and the Goose, Chad Cote. That is row number 1. Row number 2, the Pink Panther, Jesse Atkinson, and the Money King, Kyle Moonen. Row number 3, Kyle Sargent, and the captain, Gary Taylor. And in row number 4, the 181 of Jeff Kemper. Again, let us know who you were rooting for in the chat. Bixler's rooting for the captain, Gary Taylor, who's carrying the flag for the Salty Dogs. Same with Bill Calder. Gary says, how many times are you coming to Western Pennsylvania this year, Marty? I'll be there a couple times this year. I can't recall the exact number off the top of my head. First time I am in Western Pennsylvania will be in May. I think early May, if not mid-May, with Rush, as we've got State Line Speedway and Erie Speedway. I'll actually be at State Line twice this season, and same with Erie's. State Line also has the World of Outlaw case late models, so I'll be covering that. And I know I'll be at Lernerville for the Firecracker 100 and the Summer Showcase, but I won't have a lot of time at the Summer Showcases. I've got stuff to do throughout the day, and then a long drive east to Pocono, because that's the weekend the Cup Series is at Pocono. So let's get you focused on this. Heat 1 winner starts on pole. Top 4 transfer. Everyone else goes down to the B main. No call for Jesse Atkinson to grid, so we'll have Ross and Cote on the front row. Let's get it going. Good start from Cote. Moonen runs in second. Ross is third. Sargent all the way down low. He runs in the 4th spot. Up at the wall goes Gary Taylor, staying under the green flag, of course, with it being heat. Sargent way wide up the track, and here comes Kemper. Just went 2 for 1. There goes Gary, cartwheeling into turn number 3. Loses the top wing. Your wildest flip of the night, ladies and gentlemen. It's not even close. So we got a race for the lead here. Kyle Moonen and Chad Cote. Moonen tried the slider line, but does not work out on his end. Halfway home. Right on board with Kyle Moonen. Right on that tail take. Has a better exit. Tried to diamond it. He's got to run in turn 3. He throws the slide job, but up the track. Cote has the room. 1 to go. This is for pole position at its finest. On board with Cote. Gives Moonen the cushion up on the top. Cote plays defense. Moonen's got to run off in turn 4 to the checkers. Moonen steals it on a last lap pass. The heist of the century for the pole position. Ross and Kemper transfer into the feature. Sargent, Atkinson, and Taylor will race 10 laps in the B main. All right, now we have attached as well a part of our camera setups. Here, let's show you off of turn number 4. We actually have been trying to use this a lot recently. This is our new photo finish cam. Moonen with just a smooth run up on the outside. And we are still improving on this setup. Great finish by both drivers. A great race as well as a whole. So, drivers rolling for heat race number 2. And so we'll get it going. Heat 2 brought to you by Langdon Mechanical. Starting lineup looks like this. Dan McLaren and the Outlaw. Preston Cranmer, row number 1. Row 2, the high side banger, Patrick Spangler. Next to him is Joseph Grandy. Row 3, Barry Goldner and Bob DeGood. Gary Knox does have a race on the calendar this year for the Touring Series. Early June, so I'll be there for the first time ever. Looking forward to that. Stephen Goldner in the chat says, somebody check on Gary, and Kyle Moonen's doing Brennan Lacey things. Devo says that was fun to watch. Indeed it was. Now we focus on Heat 2. All 6 cars make the grid. Top 4 transfer. Bottom 2 to the B main. Winner starts outside row number 1. McLaren tries the slide job up on Preston Cranmer. Watch out! McLaren just got banged up and all the way back to 4th position. And it's Cranmer that leads lap 1. Grady in 2nd. Spangler nearly went 2 through 1 in a lap, and the 518 with a run underneath. Ooh, tries to slide up on Cranmer. They nearly touch on board with Spangler. Prefers that low line better in case something happens up top if they get side by side, but Grandy lost some time in 3 and N1 and 2 last lap. From the Young Gun Creations drone. As they're all nose to tail, McLaren dropping back just a bit. See, everyone wants to run the cushion. Remember, our drivers we talked with pre-race said it the best. Track the draw very important. That's what Spangler talked about. 3 to go in this heat. And Grandy's all over Cranmer once again. Grandy's got some bumper damage. He tries to diamond 3 and 4. Cranmer up the racetrack. Grandy takes the lead away. Oh my! They forces Cranmer out of here. Put him over the cushion and loses the top wing. Man, last time we saw a knockout blow like that, Apollo Creed didn't even get up. Here goes Spangler for the slide job meanwhile, and he takes the lead from Grandy. Grandy tries to fight back. Spangler plays defense. Final time off turn 4, photo finish. Spangler steals it again. Woo! Man, we are off to a banging start. So Heat 2 is in the books. We're going to pull up the photo finish cam again and show you that one. Oh, give us 1 second here. There we go. Yeah, that's a good one. Another close one. Drivers rolling off for heat race number 3. Jeff Barker, the Brewerton Beast, and Ross the Boss Corinna, row number 1. Row 2, Jack Clevenger and Shorty, John Short. Row number 3, the Desert Demon, Terry Landis and Brandon Templeton. How about this view count as well? 31 people watching live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Let's see if we can hit 35 by feature time. And if we get 35 in like a second, we're going for 40. Winner starts inside of row 2. Third of 4 heats this evening. Barker shallow entry into turn number 1. Corinna with a drive off of 2. He assumes the race lead. Clevenger and Short do get it for P3. Landis wants to be a piece of it, but went up the racetrack in the center of the corner. Clevenger and Short nearly touch off the start-finish line. Ross Corinna leads lap number 1. Clevenger tries to pull up with Barker to make it a war for second spot. And they're wheel to wheel. With some nice bite in the corner. Can he clear Barker for second? He cannot. On board with the 51 of John Short. Oh, watch out. He had to get on the binders with a bad corner. Templeton up in the wall. The bad corner came from Clevenger. And that sets up Landis with an opportunity to take fourth from his teammate. Landis tries to get that run, but it just doesn't work. Back to the runner-up spot. Clevenger sends it in. What a pass by the 513. Nice move as he takes the runner-up spot. Now, can he catch Corinna is the question. That is going to be tough. Short still with fourth spot. He wants third on Barker. 3 laps to go in heat 3. Look at it for the Young Gun Creations drone. Nice entry from Short. Oh, he touches with Barker. Hang on for dear life. Barker spins dead center. He's a bullseye in the infield. And Terry Landis takes the 4th spot away. Make that the 3rd spot now. Templeton says thank you very much. I'll take the final spot. Short and Barker drop down to the B main. So Corinna wins heat race number 3. Clevenger, Landis, and Templeton all transfer in, and we will go to that finish once again. Actually, let's not go to the finish. Didn't mean that. Let's go to the accident. This is going to be a fun one. Not only is it a good photo finish cam, it's also a good cam to show wrecks that happen off this corner. Coming right in your living room at home, people. All right, one more heat left to go. By the way, Heat 3 was brought to you by Venom Racing. Heat 4 brought to you by Maurer Farm Management. Macho Man Tyler Wilson on row number 1. Jack Hitt was supposed to start second, but he'll drop to the rear. That elevates John Hine up to position number 2. Here's what row 2 now looks like. Jesse Bandy and Brennan Lacey, the teammates, they were working. Lacey was working with Bandy, but this time it will be in a different area. They are teammates. And now row 3, Jack Hitt and Jeff Flero. Hitt starts to the outside of row number 4. Do I hear a Dean Reynolds weaving in the background?
Yeah, we are trying to get in and watch the 4th heat with you, Marty. What's going on?
What's going on, man? I tell you what, we had a heck of a Rebels race.
Oh, cool.
Which you'll be able to watch in just a bit.
Yeah, I will watch that as soon as this is done.
And the heats for Renegades have been excellent this evening.
Lucas Oil is we always talk. That's one of our favorite of the short tracks, and it's good for mods, and I think it's good for sprints.
Absolutely. Winner starts outside row 2. Green is out. Wilson gets away with the jump. John Hine up to second. Lacey and Bandy side by side. Lacey may try and thread the needle. It was 3 wide. Bandy decided to back out of it. Lacey takes the runner-up spot, and Wilson's got a big target behind him, Dean.
Yeah, and Brennan, I'm not sure. I think he said he does like this track when we interviewed him last week, so it's not a shock that he's in second. And I see Jesse Bandy in Renegade, so he must have had a good Rebels run.
Yeah, I hate to spoil it for you, Dean, but he ran really, really well.
Well, isn't he the leader of the Vanderbilt clan? So he needs his time to shine.
Nice slider from Bandy. He passes Hine for the 4 spot. The Professor tries to fight back. You're on board with Hine. We're halfway home in this heat. Wilson starts to open up the gap just a bit. 9/10 of a second. Keep in mind, every position is worth 4 spots here. Loser will start from 8th position or in the feature here. I don't know if that's really where Brennan wants to be, but he had a bad draw though, Dean. He started all the way from the 6th spot originally, then moved up to 4th.
Yeah, when the Renegades, we talk about all you want to do is get in the feature, but you really do want to get that extra spot in the heat, because as close as the talent is from the first to the last, you need every spot you can get.
Hine goes wide off turn 4. Head's got the final transfer spot at the moment. Hine's running out of time. Gentleman Jack's about to take this final transfer spot. Wilson's got the win. Lacey second. Bandy and Head 3rd and 4th.
And Tyler hasn't had the best of luck in the last, month, I think it is, if not longer. So he's going to like that.
Absolutely. Now we go to our B main. The B mains are brought to you by Gambler Motorsports. Here's the starting lineup. Kyle Sargent and Barry Goldner. Row number 1, the Johns in row 2, John Short and John Hyde. Jesse Atkinson, the Peak Panther, and the Outlaw, Preston Kramer, row number 3. Jeff Barker, the Brewers to Beast, and Jeff Flair, row number 4, and the captain, Gary Taylor, starts from 9th. Atkinson does make the call to grid. He did not make the call in during the heat race.
So if they all grid, only one's going to go home.
Only one's going to go home from this one. And they all have gridded. We've got a B main on the line, ladies and gentlemen. Super Dirt Car Series as well this weekend in Lucas Oil. And I can tell you as well, I'll do a self-promotion here. RS and Trackside. Wednesday night features Mike Warren, the new voice of the Super Dirt Car Series. So check that out at 7 p.m. Wednesday night.
Cool deal.
I'll be on the Rock Sports Network Facebook page. We had a good chat earlier today, so fun one.
Yeah, did you talk about hockey? Because Warren loves to talk about hockey too.
I told him GG on Plattsburgh in Division III hockey, but there's only one team that mattered at the end of this past weekend, and that was the Hobart Statesmen. So if you're a New Yorker and you're a Hobart fan, congratulations. The hockey team got the national championship. They're bringing that trophy back to the cooler. All right. I know we love our hockey, but let's get back to some racing here. All right.
Wings and things.
Top 8, make it in. The last place finisher goes home, so a wreck could end your night. Or I should say a wreck will end your night. Here we go. Sargent with a good start off from turn number 2. Short moves up to second. Barry Goldner drops down to third. Atkinson is fourth. Heinmetz tries to thread the needle. 3 wide. Look out! Oh my! Oh, there goes Barry. He kept it straight though. Well, that's going to be some good damage on the right side of that 36. That could be suspension issues. That could be day done.
Well, still with 7 laps to go, though, somebody else could make a mistake, hit a U tire, go over the bank on the outside to suck you into the wall. You never want to give up.
Well, the wild racing's happening up front. Kyle Sargent against John Short for the lead. Here comes Short. Atkinson may go 2 for 1. but he backs out of it just barely. Sargent with a brand new paint scheme on the number 91 this week. 4 laps are in the books. Also, it's a hot battle between Jeff Flaherty and John Hine. Barry Goldner's starting to catch up to Gary Taylor just a bit, so don't count him out just yet, but I think he may just run out of time barely. Back up front, Atkinson all over short for second. Oh man, he just barely hit that Tory tire.
Yeah.
Oh boy, that can knock you out your steering, though. You got to watch that.
Oh yeah, he's in trouble.
Yeah, and he's hanging on. He's hanging on. Yep.
Absolutely. He never even lifted off the throttle. 3 wide, nearly touches Cranmer. Meanwhile, Barry Goldner is 1 second behind Gary Taylor. Cranmer up the track. Atkinson looks for the runner-up spot for second. Nice move by the Pink Panther. Cranmer falls back here. Barry Goldner, 0.8 of a second behind Gary Taylor. But the Gary and John battle, though, could bring Gary in, but there's 2 laps to go.
Yeah, John looks like he's got some damage as well. The front wing's a little bit damaged, and he's not charging like John Hine normally does.
Absolutely. Barry's closing in. It's 0.7 of a second. Bad corner from Gary Taylor. Could bring in Barry Goldner. Final laps underway. They still battle for 7th. Barry, though, likely will run out of time through 3 and 4. Final spot in. It's going to be a photo finish, not even. Man, that's a fun one. John Hine beats Gary Taylor by 0.4 of a second. Let's put that on the photo finish cam, shall we?
That was exciting for the last spot.
Here it is on that photo finish cam we've got set up. Look at how close that is. Woo! Hine just barely got Taylor. Now, iRacing timing, because our stuff is different. They also say 0.4 of a second, so they were correct. So now we've got the Ohsweken Speedway warm-up watch. Go ahead, Dean.
I can't even sneeze in 0.4 of a second.
Let's see here. Devo said net code. I can't remember what that was from. I think that was from one of the heat incidents earlier. So, uh-oh. The view count is dropping. We had 35 at one point. Actually, 31 at one point.
Don't tell me it's going down since I joined. Come on, this looks kind of track.
I think we should blame Dean for this.
Chicks dig the Dino.
No, they dig the buddy. That's what they deal.
Yeah, well, yeah, and unfortunately, I don't even know where he's got all weird spots to hide in now.
Is he still in that kitchen cabinet?
No, now he's in a plastic container or the windowsill in the bathroom in the shower. Don't get me going on that one. And it's not even flat; it's angled. I'm like, man, if you fall asleep and roll off, you're in the tub. I have the stupidest cat in the world. I really do. Cute, but there's no brains. IQ of a small house plant.
Buddy time's gonna be so much fun. In just about 35 laps from now. 35
I can
laps
find him.
3 interviews.
I don't even know where he is.
Oh well.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I've noticed. It's funny when you talk about Lucas Oil. When you run a mod, it's usually top, more top, and top, and top, and more top. But when you get a sprint car here, when we were running Hometown Heroes here, the bottom actually comes in for a sprint car. And it must be because of the wing and the downforce. So I'm watching. They're doing 3 lanes out there. This is going to be fun.
Absolutely. It should be fun. Corinna currently the quickest, 13.522. He starts on the front row.
Oh, Devo with a new paint scheme.
Yeah. Devo's got
Red
a nice
and black.
ride.
Yeah, very nice. Clevenger with the white paint scheme.
I think he's all he do is doing his preparation months out of time for Knoxville in August. Look at Jeff Barker. He was able to make the show without finishing in last in the B main. And we are set to go. Well, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Extreme eSpeed TV, the Coast to Coast Racing League, Oshweekend Speedway, all the fine drivers and sponsors, we thank you so much for choosing to spend your Monday night with us. It's now time to meet the field of 24, ready to take the green for 35 laps at Lucas Oil Speedway. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the Super Dirt Car Series starting lineup. On the front row is the Money King, Kyle Moon in the 24, and the high side banger, Patrick Spangler in the 39. Row 2, the Boss, Ross Corinna in the 10, and the Macho Man, Tyler Wilson in the 42. Row 3, the Goose, Chad Cote in the 11, and Joseph Grandy in the 518. Row 4, Jeff Clevenger in the 78, and Brennan Lacey in the 414. Rounding out the top 10, Devo, Donovan Ross in the 5, and Dan McMillan in the 88. Row 6, the Desert Demon, Terry Landis, the 161, and Jesse Bandy in the 57. Second half of the grid in row number 7. That's the 181 of Jeff Kemper and the 7 of Bobby Good. Row 8 to 31 of Brandon Templeton and Gentleman Jack Hitt in the 217. Row 9, Kyle Sargent in the 91 and the Big Panther of Jesse Atkinson. Row 10, Preston Kramer, the Ayla Outlaw in the 07, and Shorty John Short in the 51. Row 11, Jeff Valero in the 200 and the Brewers of East, Jeff Crocker in the 513. And rounding out the field this evening, the Professor John Hahn in the 71. And the captain, Gary Taylor, in the 34. Dean, it's time for picks. Who do you think's going to win this one?
I tell you, that front row, you want to talk about kings of the sport in coast to coast. There's 2 of them, but I'm going to go with Patrick Spangler. And I'm going to do another prediction. Our Charger is going to be John Short.
Oh, okay. You think Shorty's going to make the way up? Not bad. So you're going Patrick Spangler.
Yep.
I race Spangler with Kyle Moonen.
And double a Carenta?
Yes. Well, we're about to see what goes down here as they make their way through 3 and 4. Where else would you rather be than right here, right now, from coast to coast? Moonen and Spangler bring us to green. Showtime in Wheatland, Missouri. Trouble already.
Oh, yep. I didn't see it.
Just took the green. Preston, Jeff, and John. That's 2 of the 3 Crate Sim Racing drivers.
Hope I didn't put the kiss of death on Shorty.
So we have, oh man, Preston and John just got into each other with Jeff nowhere to go.
Yeah, it looked like when Preston got into the gas, the car actually dug in and got on the left rear and just got a good bite. It's just racing deal, but I've had that happen. Sometimes you come off, you think you're going to get real loose, and that looked like it dug.
Yeah, that looked like something that Preston just did not see coming one bit.
Yeah, it wasn't expected.
So that'll put 1 lap on the board. Here
Yeah,
early.
and it's going to probably be single file because it didn't get a lap in. Yeah.
That it will be. Don't forget, next week on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. While we're at, let's give you the schedule for next week, brought to you by Dylan Westbrook Racing. Tomorrow night, Topside Tuesday at Lernerville and Texas. That's the Truck Trail at 8 p.m. Wednesday, the Hometown Heroes at Knoxville and South Boston. South Boston has the Cars Late Models at 7 p.m. Thursday Night Thunder, small and big blocks at I-55. The Xfinity Trail at Richmond at 7 p.m. Next Monday, the Speed Palace of Port Royal Speedway. All you can watch here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. 1 lap goes up on the boards. Kyle Moonen, Patrick Spangler, Ross Corinna, Tyler Wilson, Chad Cote, the top 5 as we go back to green. Good restart from Kyle Moonen. Oh, Corinna hops the Tory tire and a big stack up. Landis around. They're still wrecking after the caution. Lacey and Grandy got together.
Those tires are always undefeated. They've never lost.
Absolutely. It's like LeVar Ball. 1-on-1, I'm undefeated. I never lost.
Ross going to go in and get a quick repair.
Yeah. Bad suspension damage. Landis just had nowhere to go in this stack up. Give Ross credit for keeping that car straight. Same with Lacey and Granny with all the smacking they just did down the back straight. Let's watch an onboard here think Chad Cote can give us a good onboard, perhaps. Is that Corinna? Nope, that's Lacey. Correction. All right. So we got the wrong angle there. So, second Salty Dog caution of the day.
Yeah, Brandy and Lacey got their spots back, so which is good.
Okay, that's good. So, Lacey will be able to restart in just about 6th position or so. The Steve King Foundation pace truck, who has led the most laps in this feature, pulls off. That gives Kyle Moon in the lead. Patrick Spangler 2nd. Tyler Wilson 3rd. Chad Cote 4th. And Joseph Grandy 5th. Here we go, coming back to the green flag. Moon and hole. Spangler takes a peek underneath. Can't get the pass done. 3 wide nearly for 4th. Cote stuck up top. Grandy thinks about threading the needle. But him and Lacey.
Oh, Jesse Bandy.
Oh, Bandy! The Rebels winner went up the racetrack. And back into the 10th position he goes, although he did start in the 12th spot. And Templeton wing to wing for 9th position. Ahead of them, back to Lacey Grandy. That's a good one on track. Neither of them giving up any inch of dirt. Three wide down the back with Bandy again, stuck up in the middle. Templeton nearly hits the Uke tire, tries to slide up on Bandy. This time Templeton stuck in the middle, Dean. This is some wild stuff mid-pack.
Yeah, and it's interesting up front. I'm watching. There's 3 lanes. Moonen's middle, Spangler's high, and Tyler Wilson's going right in the middle.
Let's see if the high side banger can go to work here. That's the line that Trent Verstraeten and Dustin Sargent used well to gain some spots. Atkinson has crashed it. He saved it though. We stay green, and maybe he may crash once again. It's him and Clevenger are hooked up. Nope, they save it there again. There was just a lot of net code, but they're crashing again behind, and still no caution. Barker and Landison, now we get a caution. There are 3 cautions in that situation. All right, let's show you the truth cause of the caution. Landis and Barker in the back of the pack, minding their own business. And then stack up end, Barker just got in the back of Gary Taylor. Landis with nowhere to go.
Boy, that deal with Atkinson and Clevenger, that was some serious net code.
We're gonna show you as well, after we watch on board with Jeff Barker, we're gonna see how Jesse Atkinson, how he was considered crashed.
He was totally inside the car.
All right, this is the real-time shot with Jesse. He's racing Bandy. That's just around the top 10 again. Gets in the, no, ooh, Bandy just bumped him. Wow, what a save. And right next to the Tory tire of all places. So we should have our first double file restart of the day.
I don't know if it will because it's the 3rd yellow.
That is true, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I think we're single file from here on out. Yep.
Yep, you are correct. So it's Moonen, Spangler, Wilson, Cote, McLaren, your top 5. Grandy, Hick, Kemper, Sargent, Templeton, the top 10. We're going to watch from the Young Gun Creations drone as we come back to the green flag. See all the different grooves created. Wilson just about stuck in the middle for now. Spangler holds on to 2nd. Cote may have a run up on the cushion on the Macho Man. Check that race out. McLaren looking down on the bottom too.
If you look at Spangler in 1 and 2, he's actually going over the berm on the opposite side of the track to get his bite.
Very risky.
Of course, now I say that he goes in the middle.
Very risky as well to go over.
But some people like to do that because there is bite over there.
Absolutely, but sometimes as well you play that risk.
Oh, I go on the wall. I don't risk it.
Absolutely, that's what happened.
I think in 3 and 4 I saw a blue car.
Yep, that is actually Kemper.
Oh, gray car, okay.
Yeah, so. But yeah, that's what happened with Verstraeten. in the Rebels race in the final lap when he was racing Bandy for the win. Yeah, Sargent was the first one to go over, then came back down, and Kemper had nowhere to go. Right,
it's interesting. I was going to say Patrick Spangler is actually the admin for the race as well, so that's pretty cool. They can hold second place and help out everybody as well.
There's nowhere to go, and man, who's that one behind? Just barely missing it. I think that was Atkins in the black car up top that just barely missed Kemper.
It was a good move.
I think that was Atkinson. No, it was a car further ahead. It was Lacey that just barely missed it. Now, I don't know what's been going on with him, but he is stuck. I think he used a quick repair after one of the cautions, so.
He might have on that start there where they got together going down. Him and Grandy got together going down the backstretch there.
So he's back in the 16th spot for those wondering. Hitt and Flero are each up 10 positions in 6th and 11th respectively. But yeah, how about that start from Jack Hitt as well? Started from 16th position. He's currently running inside the top 10, taking advantage of other mistakes.
Now Cote is third, and you know, he always likes the outside too. And right now, I don't know if the outside's quicker, but he's really going to give it a run. And you know, Moonen's probably going to go to the bottom, and it's going to be interesting. Wilson's flashing a little bit.
12 laps go up on the board this time. We're back to green. 3 wide for third, maybe.
Wow, what a nice move by Wilson through the middle.
Absolutely, that was smooth on that neutral line. Cote up on the cushion once again. Could take that bottom step of the podium away from the Macho Man, and he does have it secured. If the caution were to come out before the lead, here comes Spangler up on that middle line, but he went up the track. Caution, Gary Taylor, Jesse Atkinson. No, we stay under the green flag again. Man. These virtual officials are being lenient tonight. Give them credit. They'll let them race, and Spangler wants to race for sure. He's up on the cushion. Big run off at turn 4 for the high side banger, Dean. He's right there.
Yeah, I think right now, 1 and 2, you either want to be low or middle. Of course, Spangler's doing a little slider. But 3 and 4, I think the outside just might have a hair on the inside.
3 and 4 is his best corner by far. Moonen looks better in 1 and 2 as they're wheel to wheel. Entering turn 1, you see Spangler on the middle side of the track. Caution is out. He'll have to try again shortly. Brandon Templeton is around. That was starting to get good. That was starting to get real good, and it could get better in just a moment. Here's what happened to the 31 dirt track bank ride. Sargent with a little too much yaw, and they just touched wheels. And that is, ooh, Landis caught a piece of that too. That again, that is in turn number 2. No, actually, that's in turn 4. I'm sorry. There it was. Right there, rear wheel to rear wheel contact.
Yeah, it just got a little sideways in the middle there. Didn't grip like Sargent was hoping.
Could even say rear wheel to GoPro contact too. What may have led to that. Lights still on. They should go off this time by. So Patrick Spangler, it seems like he's got a really good car on this long run at the moment. If we get a long run at the moment. Moonen's obviously being out in front. You're much better at the start.
Yeah, you know, modified Lucas Oil, though 1 and 2 can develop down low, and I think that's what's happening here. But 3 and 4 it usually always stays top, and I think, like you said, Marty, if they can get a run of 10 laps or so, I think Patrick can use that 3 and 4 to possibly grab the lead.
Moonen the leader, Spangler second, Wilson third, Cote fourth, McLaren rounds out the top 10. We're set for the Mission 22 restart.
Lucas sixth.
Jack Hitt still in the 6th position as we're back to green,
Yeah.
just about the halfway point. Here goes McLaren as he looks for 4th on the goose. And Cote may have just about clipped the wall. Jack Hitt with a huge run. Grandy and Corinna also 3 wide in the situation. Kyle Sargent around. That should be a caution flag. It's a big pile up off of turn number 4. And that is Jeff Flero and Preston Cranmer that were also caught up in the mess. Here's a look, so we will go once more. Again, too much yaw from Sargent and just leaves Flero with nowhere to go. And Preston Cranmer also with nowhere to go. Let's ride on board with the 200. Him and Prester are probably just talking about their day under caution while they were, I don't want to say perpendicular, but intersecting. I think that's what they called it in geometry.
I don't know if Sargent maybe guessed a wrong gear because it looks like he's really got a lot of wheel spin.
Yeah, he's had
and that's hurting him. Yeah,
he's had a rough day so far for sure. Just about 15 to go when we take the green flag. If you're a Spangler, you don't want all these yellows. You want to just keep on
when
going.
you run the top, yeah, it's you want momentum, and it's tough when it's stop and go.
Also wants possibly lap traffic too if that becomes an issue. So 15 circuits remain. McLaren now in the 4th spot, Cote down to 5th. Boonen trying to hold off a pair of training wheel racing drivers.
Boy, McLaren hugs those tires. Here comes Correnta.
Yeah, all the way down to the bottom. Cote stuck in the middle once again. Correnta goes 2 for 1.
And he gets right back on the horse and hugs those tires.
And Cote,
it doesn't scare him.
Hits up to the wall. No, it doesn't scare him one bit. Meanwhile, Hit still running the cushion really well, and same with Donovan Ross, who's broken into the top 10 for the first time. It's a hornet's nest in turn number 2, but we got a race for the lead still, Dean. Patrick Spangler still all over Kyle Moonen.
It's just interesting to see all the lines that Patrick's trying to use.
Oh, look out, Corretta sideways. Taylor and Flero crash. No caution again. We stay green. Oh, they had to duck away. The caution flag will come out. Again, not what Spangler wanted again. These two were running in 21st and 23rd, or 21st and 22nd. We're hearing Fleur and Taylor just got together.
Oh, and then Grandy just nailed Gary Taylor. Oh, and he put on his side. That gonna end his race.
Wait a second.
Yep. Oh, he just nailed
no.
him. Yep.
Oh, he tried to find the lane there. That's why we saw Grandy in the pits.
Yep.
That's a tough break. Oh, man. Let's ride on board with both Gary and Grandy. Yeah, Flero just pretty much came up. They were hooked again. There was no caution here. Then the leaders come. Yeah, through the caution. Man, Spangler with a huge mess. And then Grandy tried to go. He just did not have the angle.
No, I think the car in front of him, I think, blocked it. If you go in his cockpit, I bet you he didn't see Gary until, because Gary did his job. He held his brakes, stayed right there. And I bet you if you go in Grandy's cockpit, you probably didn't see him until the car in front of him ducked low. And then Grandy saw Gary in front of him, and I know what he said underneath his helmet.
Watch her. Oh, yeah, he was just, it's like one of those blind objects.
Yep.
Just in front of him, though. Remember, objects in front of you may be closer than they
appear.
So 11 to go when we take this restart. And again, Moonen, Spangler, Wilson, Corinna, McLaren and Corinna, the top 5. Jack Hitt's still running in 6th. 11 to go. They got
Clemens and Shorty got together coming on the start.
Keep an eye on that.
Oh, Jack Hitt.
Oh, no! And Short, and more. Pile in. Bandy, I think, got involved as well, and so we'll Have 10 to go. That's
Thank God they don't burn fuel under yellow.
That's a tough break for the gentleman. He was having one heck of a run. Got into Corinna and around he went. Clevenger and Short all with nowhere to go. Man, oh man. That's a quick repair for Jack Hitt. Let's ride on board with him on this restart. And then we'll go John Short here. That's Clevenger 2 in front of him. There was another driver as well that was caught up, but I think he saved it. We'll know who it is right here. There was Barker. Nope, we couldn't catch it. So we gotta get back to the live feed, unfortunately, because we are approaching another restart.
Yeah, we're 1 to go right now.
Yep, and we've got 10 to go when we take the green flag.
They're doing a good thing here because the pits are really weird, and the open pit and close is such a small window. They're allowing everyone to go in and get their quick repairs, and then Patrick's waving everybody's blacks.
Good.
So they don't have to worry about timing it to get in.
Good for him. A lot of respect to the high side banger. Here we go, 10-lap shootout. Spangler again tries the neutral groove. He may have a run off of 2. Wheel to wheel with 3 and 4 in Spangler's beautiful corner. Can he get the drive? No, Moonen just about shuts the door for right now.
Do we not count out Lacey?
Maybe not count him out just yet. He's up into the 4th position. Spangler, though, still as much dirt as he can get, as much moisture as he can get. Moonen still hanging on to that lead. 8 laps remain.
Patrick had a really good 1 and 2 there.
Absolutely.
Now watch this. Watch this.
May have been his best 1 and 2 today so far. Here they come to the line. Spangler takes the lead away at Lucas Oil. He led it at the line over Kyle Moonen. Doesn't have to worry about a caution coming out.
There he
But
goes on the
up
other
the track,
side.
though. Up the
I
track.
think he planned that.
Moonen takes the lead back. Here
Great
comes
race.
Brennan Lacey.
Here comes Lacey, my
It's a
God.
3-car battle for the lead. We got 5 circuits remaining across the start-finish line. Spangler, oh, too much yaw off of turn 4. Moonen keeps the race lead. It is now 2-on-1 Vandyville. What was 2-on-1 training wheels at the drop of the green flag. Spangler tries to get off at turn 4. Drives it way deep. Flairel and Grandy crash. We have no caution. Staying under the green flag. 4 laps remain, Dean.
This is some good stuff here. I tell you, God, you can never count out Brendan Lacey, I guess. I mean, he got to the back, what, twice, I think?
Absolutely, but look at the lap traffic in front. Flairel and Grandy, the low line for Vandyville, working together. Moonen's got Spangler clear. Here comes Lacey again. Here comes Lacey with 2 to go. Spangler catches the wall. Lacey with a run underneath. Moonen just barely shuts the door. They're side by side in turn 3. Lacey
now
sent
lap traffic, though. Lap traffic.
It could be an issue. Moonen tries to fight back.
Oh,
1
no.
left. No, what?
Let them race.
Just as they took the white, the caution comes out.
Who's got the lead?
I think it's Kyle Moonen.
That
And it
might
is.
win him the race. It might. I'm sure Kyle's going to make sure he times that restart good. Stays on the bottom. Make sure Brandon won't get underneath him.
Take a deep breath, folks, because that may be the last one before the checkered flag. Clevenger tries to hail Melinet. And it's Sargent again with the yaw. Oh, he just flipped Clevenger. Man, that's a heavy one.
Do we need security in the pits?
Possibly. Let's ride on board with the 78. Now, this is where it's going to be fun to watch amongst the leaders. Let's go right here. This was, nope, that was in turn 2. Let's go to the moment they were about to take the white flag and when the caution flag came out. Just barely. We'll look at a better shot of it when
We're coming to green.
Yeah, we'll get a better shot of it after the finish. But once again, it's going to come down to overtime. And it's 1-2 Bandy Belt. Kyle Moonen leading. Lacey trying to pull off the biggest comeback in coast-to-coast history. 2 laps to settle it. Good restart. Spangler again tries to send down the neutral groove of the racetrack. It's going to come down to Moonen against Lacey for this win off for turn 4. The low line is working perfectly. 1 lap to go. Moonen tries to block Lacey with a run. He's got the lane off for turn 2. Oh, he hit the Tari tire.
Yep.
Spangler up the racetrack. That's going to do it. The Money King, Kyle Moonen through 3 and 4. It's going to hang on and survive to take the win. And they go crazy behind. Lacey and Spangler crash.
That's amazing. What a finish. Yeah,
And
Brennan's sitting there apologizing that his steering went.
I believe as well, did Ross Corina steal second?
Yes, he did.
That is utterly incredible. My goodness, what a night tonight.
Even with the yellows, that was still a very entertaining race. That was, I tell you, Brennan, you got to give Kyle the props for winning. But Brennan Lacey, man, what a run. What a run.
Now let's take a look here. We're going to look at the nose of Kyle Moonen here. I want to see, this is going to be fun to watch, the moment of caution. So again, this is the front end. Let's see here. Where's the yellow light? Ooh, it's on, I think. Nope. Oh, man. You know what? That is tight. That is really tight. They may have actually crossed the line and then the caution flew. I don't know. I think it was
the iRacing computer never lies.
But, you know, there is there is a slight delay. You know, the caution may have come out on iRacing just as they were about to cross the line and they had to wait a second.
Yeah, but the transponders are on the tail tank, so maybe that's what it was.
Could be that too. That is true. That's a good point. Oh my goodness, what a race. And we'll begin with the 3rd place finisher in Patrick Spangler. Patrick, man oh man, what a race. I'm gonna guess here as well in this situation, those caution flags, every time you had a chance on Kyle Moonen really paid the price.
Yeah, because at the end when we finally got the green flag runs, top of 4 was going away, so I was getting way up towards the wall. I just wasn't as fast as it was earlier.
Absolutely. What more do you think you needed for Kyle in the finish?
I feel like if I could have got out in front there and controlled the restarts, I would have been good. And I just needed like a 5-lap run those first 15, 20 laps to get ahead of him because I was quicker there, but he was just getting the head start on me on the restarts.
Now, Patrick, you went above the rim here, where your right rear is actually on the opposite side of the banking. I've been seeing some guys do that more and more. Was that planned on your end as well?
Yeah, I saw it work in the matinee, especially out of 4, because it's so tacky up there and stays there, then you can just launch down the straightaway. And as long as it upsets the car a little bit, but if you can handle the upset of the car there and manage it, you can really get a good run if the top's there like it was at the beginning of the race.
Marty, I do that, I tow.
I got to ask you as well, Patrick, from our driver's perspective, how many inches away, give me an estimate, how many inches away was it from the caution flag, from the white to the caution? How many do you think?
I don't even know. I was just trying to race, and we were racing close. I didn't realize we were coming to the white flag, I guess, right then. Yeah, and then I don't know what happened on that last restart. I got my first 2XR crossing the finish line, so losing 7 points there is a tough one to swallow.
Well, who do you want to give shout-outs to on this run?
Just you guys for the broadcast, Roger for running the league. Triangles Racing had Grandy and Wilson in there tonight. Wilson got a top 5 tonight. And Dad, I'll go back home watching.
Alrighty, man. We'll let you go there. Man, a wild finish as well. We're watching it right now, so great job. Yeah, great job, and we'll see you next week.
Yep, sounds good.
Patrick Spangler, our third place finish. Man, he came so close in that one. Let's go to our second place finisher, Ross Carina, stealing a podium spot, runner-up. Ross, walk us through your race as a whole this evening.
I wish I could take it or keep it off the tires. First off, probably wouldn't have to have such a heart attack. But
me and Marty were saying it's like riding a horse. You just went right back out there, faced him, and said, "You're not getting me this time."
Yeah, I think I gave myself 4x just from the inside tires, so that's usually not a good deal.
I mean, though, what a comeback, though, dude.
Well, Lacey gave me the juice, so obviously I think that whatever the magic in that set is, it works because even I can drive it. But no, it felt good. It's obviously there's a lot of people running the bottom, so you just kind of had to pick your spots. When you see somebody slide up a little bit, make a mistake, you just gotta hit it right. And luckily I was able to do it. I was telling Moonin in the waiting room, I don't know if I've ever got close to blacking out coming out of a turn 4 to the finish line before, but that was pretty crazy there.
Yeah, that was insane, man.
Did you close your eyes and just floor it?
Yeah, pretty much. I saw the wet strip and I just put the pedal down and went.
I'm surprised you didn't pull the wing back while you were doing it.
Yeah, right. Should have.
Oh man, oh man. Other than that, Ross, any other positives you take away?
Oh boy, I just don't even know where to begin. That was fun.
It was.
I gotta say I haven't had that much fun racing. I mean, granted I have fun, but every race. But that was a lot of fun coming from the back, and then I know Lacey tagged me one time, and I told him, I said, "Well, you should have told me you're there, because if I knew it was him, I would have slid up a little more." But he's just, I don't know, he can just keep it down there so well. It's crazy, but
absolutely.
So, oof, that was fun.
Who do you want to give shout outs to?
The guys over at Phantom Motorsports, Vanderbilt guys for everything they do for me. M9 Performance, Pro Outdoors, Weckl Sportswear, Velocity Race Design. You guys for putting on the show, and everybody behind the scenes at the league keeping this thing going.
All righty, man. We'll let you go. Congratulations on that one.
Good run, Ross.
Thank you.
Absolutely. All righty, now it's time to go to Extreme E-Speed TV Victory Lane. Kyle Moonin hanging on and probably taking some deep breaths now after taking the checkered flag. That was not easy, man. So much defense you had to play there.
Yeah, especially those, I don't know, maybe last 10 laps or so, probably the first 25 were pretty easy, but the more the bottom went away, Spangler was getting there good there for a minute, and then all of a sudden I was more paying attention to him, and I didn't realize anyone else was. I didn't see him. I thought he was still a little further back. He was smart by not saying anything, because I know, he doesn't once I got ahead of Spangler, I kind of like letting it float up to the wall. It just helps keep me away from, the tires or whatever, and he come, flying up next to me, and once he got inside of me, I was like, oh man, this isn't gonna be good. And then got lucky with that caution, and after that I kind of knew what I had to. I needed to keep it down and try forcing them into the tires or pass me on the outside.
Well, that's what I wanted to get to, Marty. I actually replayed that last restart. Kyle, you were 55 miles an hour running the bottom. And how hard can that be? Because that's actually not you. You want to go in there a little bit harder, but you had to do it on purpose. Was it tough to do it like that, though?
A little bit, and I wasn't. See, that's kind of where it's tricky. I don't know. Lacey's good about driving it in a little bit harder and keeping it on the bottom. I don't know if it's dragging the brake or what, but unless I get out of it early, I have trouble keeping it on the bottom through the center of the corner, which I needed to do, because if he got his nose in there, it was kind of over after that. But yeah, I didn't realize I was going that slow.
Nobody.
I went back to look at that. I did. I had to.
Nobody has that. Nobody has that Bandy built low-line secret recipe like you guys. It's like 11 herbs and spices.
Yeah, and I wish I could run it a little bit. That's why I finally ran it. I was kind of sick of Lacey winning all the time down there, so I moved down there and tried it, but little luck fell on my side. You know, him and Corinna both went all the way to the tail and made it back up there. So
Gotta ask too as well for the heck of it. When you came for the white flag, if you were to guess, how many inches were you away from taking the white when the heads-up display showed caution?
I'm not really sure, to be honest with you. I'm really not sure how close we were. If you're talking about when Lacey passed me or was starting to pass me, yeah, I was kind of watching more what he was doing than where we even were on the track. So
Next week, Port Royal. What's the outlook look like?
I'm not sure. I guess we'll see. So just need a little luck, I guess, still. So
Hey Marty, if a Bandy representative wins next week, that's 3 in a row. Do we start looking at a bounty again?
Ooh, I don't know. Good question. Maybe. We'll talk with Roger. Kyle, who do you want to give shout-outs to?
just all the guys at Bandy Built, Ross Corinna at Velocity Race Design, you guys for the broadcast, and everyone that helps put the league on.
Alrighty, man. Well, we'll let you go, Kyle. Congratulations on this win. Go enjoy it.
Awesome job.
All right. Appreciate it, guys.
Kyle Moonen celebrating an Extreme E-Speed TV victory lane. Win number 1 on the season, and we've got a bunch of different winners, 3 different winners to kick off the Renegade season. What a night, and again, an amazing start to this season so far, Dean. I know it's race 3, but what a night.
Well, and Renegades, again, doesn't disappoint. And, I got 2 more weeks, and then I'll be back in the Rebels, and I'm going to be enjoying that as well. And then hopefully somehow, some way I can pick off a top 5 and run with these guys, because you learn a lot, too. If anything, I don't mind running 22nd in a feature. Actually, I just want to make a feature with these guys. But, even with the yellows, because it was a tricky track, Lucas Oil has some straights where you can get some speed, and the corners are tight, and it was burned off big time. But, it still turned into be a great entertaining race.
Absolutely, it was. Let's show you your official results here from this evening. Kyle Moonen, the winner. Ross Corinna, 2nd. Patrick Spangler, 3rd. Brennan Lacey, 4th. Kyle Wilson, 5th. Donovan Ross, 6th. Chad Cote, 7th. Dan McLaren, 8th. Jesse Atkinson, 9th. John Hine, 10th. Jeff Barker, 11th. Jesse Bandy, 12th. Terry Landis, 13th. Jeff Kemper, 14th. Excuse me. John Short, 15th.
You all right,
yeah, I'm good.
Okay?
I'm good.
All right. Okay.
Brandon Templeton, 16th. Jack Hitt, 17th. Bob DeGood, 18th. Jeff Flero, 19th. 20th belongs to Joseph Grandy. 21st was Kyle Sargent. 22nd, Jack Clevenger, rather flipped them both. Gary Taylor, 23rd. And Preston Kramer finishes in 24th. All right, we got the cameras on this week. Dean, is it time?
No, he's big timing us.
All
just think.
We'll put
we're gonna have to, now that I know you got the cameras ready, I'm gonna have to lock them down and tie them down or something to the end of the race.
Possibly too, yeah, that's for sure. Let's bring Dean on in here. I gotta turn on his camera. There we go. This should be good. He's coming. There he is. Alrighty. A fun night next week. Port Royal Speedway. Last year was a heck of a show. It's gonna be another good one next week. I don't think we need to talk about it. I think all we just gotta do is show the racing next week, and boom, you'll be thrilled.
I'm looking at myself on the tablet. I'm a plain white box, Marty. There I am.
Yes, you're right there. It's got a small delay to it.
Yeah. Now, Port Royal, it's interesting. A lot of people don't like Port Royal because it can be top dominant, and then you got the bumps and the ruts. But man, I enjoy it because I always feel if you can be good at Port Royal on the top, it's a lot easier to be good on the top everywhere else. And you have the unpredictability because you got to run there, but you also got to be flat out because if you're not, somebody else is going to be and is going to do the slider and everything else. So it's going to be interesting, and you're going to have the best race car drivers in coast to coast behind the wheel of a wing machine going at it.
Absolutely. So
Well, in the Renegades, but Rebels are going to put on a good race, and then it'll be interesting to see who makes it out of the Raiders.
Absolutely. So that will do it for us here this evening. So glad you could join us throughout the night. On behalf of Extreme E-Speed TV, the Coast to Coast Racing League, Osh Weekend Speedway, all the fine drivers and sponsors, Roger Craig, Preston Kramer, and their elite team of admins. On behalf of Dean Reynolds, Marty Scala sign off. Congrats to your winners this evening at Lucas Oil Speedway, Cody Graham, Jesse Bandy, and Kyle Moonen. So long, everyone.